Gusto mo? Hindi sa amin. Totoo nga. Ganda. Kasi lang, ang galing.
Kalinya ya. Dan jadi kalinya ya. Ini apa lagi lagi. Apa ini? Ini kalinya ini.
Dah sejai apa ni dekat? Ha.
Ya kalau biasa kita biasa dan putih. Kita hidup dulu. Boleh apa? Ni kalau boleh bau, dia kena pusingkan ni. Tak ada. Dulu yang plastik kau ni. Boleh kena bau. Ini jadi ni kan. Atas ramai. Bawah dia jadi putih. Pusingkan ni. Kalau kemal ada tu dia kena pusing. Kalau longgar aja dia jadi kena pusing. Ada teh lah, ada putih. Bidang yang kerak ini jadi putih aku lipat. Apa bidangnya? Ada kira. Ini paling jaga. Paling dari yo. Dapat kebijakan tersebut, ada bagi longgar, bagi longgar. Ini lekat ni untuk sini. Kita impun apa ni? Kayak ini benda ni, dia boleh kita tolak naik dulu. Bila tolak naik dulu, dia berkumpul. Kalau budak-budak kita tolak ni lah, kalau ni dah dulu. Faham ya? Dia pernah kau ni buat tak? Dia ada benda buat lah ada apa ni? Jangan posisi.
channel.
My name is Krzysztof Fenyvesi. I work in the Finnish Institute for Educational Research, and I'm the founder of Experience Workshop STEAM Network. STEAM means the integration between science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics in education. We have organized various math art education events and interactive exhibitions, workshops, seminars, and training all over in Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. Over the years, several tens of thousands of people participated in our events. Experience Workshop's international STEAM network and community have hundreds of active members like teachers of various subjects, artists, scholars, artisans, and toy makers. Experience Workshop experiments with various educational approaches to allow learning mathematics through the arts and to make art with mathematics. We aim to involve the children, teachers, and families into a vibrant and creative dialogue between the mathematical and artistic way of looking at our world. Experience Workshops' primary research interests involve, but not limited to, STEM and STEAM education. Inquiry-based, cooperative, playful, and experience-oriented mathematics education. Connecting problem-solving processes in science and art education. Connecting hands-on activities and digital modeling in mathematics, science, art, and design education. Science and art connections in learning. Phenomenon-based learning and collaborative teaching. Inter-, cross-, and transdisciplinary management and transcurricular leadership in education.
When I was only 5, I thought the world turned around the playground. In my little mind, I didn't know that things happen under the ground. When the children play with their toys, I tried to make sound from the noise. Others said, you never play with us, you're
Experience Workshop movement conducts online and offline trainings, publishing various kinds of printed and online resources for teachers, parents, and students. Books, apps, science and art albums, teacher resources, and scientific articles. Experience Workshop is running an international traveling exhibition of mathematical art, which included in Experience Workshop online and offline events. The collection includes artworks, scientific modeling tools, math art puzzles, and other spectacular objects.
in my little mind, I didn't know that things happen under the ground. When the children play with
For further information, check out our website.
Completely submerged in the water.
Follow us on social media.
So we need premises.
Welcome, everybody. Do you hear me? Okay, thank you. My name is Kristóf Fenyvesi, and I'm really glad to be able to host this amazing event with several participants from all around the world. We have registrations from over 10 countries and it was just growing until the last minute, so I'm not even familiar with the latest numbers, and this is a great opportunity to celebrate together another success in the STEAM world. Yoon-Hyung Kim received the prize from the Korean Mathematical Society, and actually this is the this gives us the opportunity to come together, and he received this prize for his achievements in STEAM education. Yoon-Hyung Kim is a teacher in Korea in a girls' school, if I'm correct, and he's a very innovative mathematics teacher, and using several hands-on tools and experimental and experience-oriented approaches in his work. And I think this occasion is not only to celebrate this wonderful prize, which only 10 teachers received along with Yoon-Hyung Kim, but also that's an opportunity to learn from his practice and start the dialogue on these innovative practices. So let us start with congratulatory messages, words of congratulations. We have a very honorable group of people, STEAM pioneers, came to congratulate you, Mr. Hyun Kim. So it will be my pleasure to ask first Mr. Hogul Park, the inventor of Podipreframe, the inventor of a tool which you've been really frequently using to reflect on your prize and say some words of congratulations. Welcome, everybody. I will tell you the session program afterwards, the congratulatory messages. So the floor is for Mr. Hogul Park, inventor of Podipreframe.
포디수리학창의연구소의 박호골 소장입니다. 이번 특별 세미나를 통해 김진영 선생님을 여러분께 소개할 수 있게 되어 매우 영광이고 기쁘게 생각을 합니다. 먼저 김지영 선생님의 2020 대한민국 수학교육상 수상을 진심으로 축하를 드립니다. 그간의 교육 현장에서 김 선생님의 뿌리신 땀과 눈물이 이런 기이한 결과로 이어지게 된 것 같습니다. 김진현 선생님은 지오지브라와 포디프레임을 실제 수업에 적용하여 아주 의미 있는 성과를 만들어낸 훌륭한 선생님이십니다. 열정과 사명감으로 학생들에게 원래 배우는 것을 재미있는 것을 경험시키게 늘 성실히 노력하고 계십니다. 대부분은 지오지브라와 포디프레임을 활용한 새로운 수학교육 사회를 경험하고자 이 강연에 참여해 주실 거라고 생각을 합니다. 이 강연을 통해 많은 것들을 얻어가시기 바라고 그것들을 여러분이 속해 있는 교육 현장에서 더 발전시켜 주시기를 기대합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Mr. Park, for the congratulatory message. And it's my pleasure to ask Professor Seo Linkei Paik from the Korea National University of Education to also say some words for Yan Hyun Kim for this occasion. Thank you very much.
Distinguished participants, I am Professor Sung-hae Baek, Head of Convergence Education Research Institute in Korea National University of Education. I am very happy that the teacher Junhyung Kim's special online seminar is held. I am deeply moved by the educational achievements of teacher Junhyung Kim, since his work is consistent with the value of education pursued by the Convergence Education Research Institute. I think very meaningfully the creation of this seminar to share his remarkable educational achievements with others. For the future education in the post-corona era, we should stress 3 points. First, maintaining a connection with the students. Second, maintaining a connection with fellow educators. Third, learning for everyone. In addition, in order to meet these points, we must make the following efforts. First, education can succeed only when teachers make and maintain a personal connection with their class. Second, education gives teachers a range of tools to share lesson plans, ideas, and practice both with their colleagues and with teachers in other schools, colleges, or universities. In other words, education can be only effective within teachers' collaboration. Similarly, as you know, maintaining a connection with fellow educators is vital in convergence education too. Third, the corona pandemic discloses the educational inequalities that minority groups cannot access to digital education resources. Again, this needs teamwork. Learning for everyone is an extraordinary challenge in online education. Every teacher, parents, educational policymakers should work together to resolve the problems. I expect today that the teacher Junhyung Kim's seminar make international cooperation field. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to ask Professor Zsolt Lavica from the Johannes Kepler University in Linz from Austria to also congratulate our prize winner. Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon for you. I'm very happy to congratulate Hyun Kim for this award. And I think we met in Korea, so it's very nice. And then I know his work. It's really amazing. And then I'm very happy to be here and congratulate. And it would be amazing to continue this collaboration with our Korean colleagues and all over the world. So for many years we have been working together as a team. We present in different conferences, Ars Electronica, in the GeoGebra conferences, Bridges, and then we were giving lots of talks in Israel, New York, Taiwan, South Africa, and then so on. So hopefully today's presenter will be able to come and then give some talks in our work as well in all over the world. So really nice collaboration, really nice to be here, and congratulations for this award, and then looking forward to meeting you again, and then hopefully you will be able to present in our university and in our conferences as well, and then continue this very fruitful collaboration between Podipreme, GeoGebra, and experience workshop. Very nice to meet you. Thank you, Christoph, for coordinating the event. And of course, thank you, Hogul Park, for the invitation. Thank you. Bye-bye. Look forward.
For the technical difficulties, but though I'm one of the hosts of the event, but not technically, so it's always takes a little time while I can unmute myself. So thank you for these wonderful congratulatory talks. And before Jan Hyung Kim could start his presentation, let me mention that we are very grateful for Podipreme for initiating this global discussion on STEAM, and started to organize these global events together with the Korean National University of Education. And also with our partnership from Experience Workshop and many other institutions who've been also represented in the event now. So I think this is a very important occasion and opportunity to start the dialogue on these topics. And during the congratulatory talks, it also gave time to everybody to join. And when I see the participants list, I'm really happy to see more than 50 persons online at the moment, and I'm sure that many more will watch the recording and streaming. But we have participants in addition to Korea, from Sweden, of course, where Nordic Podipreme is located, and we have participants from Romania, from South Africa, from Spain, from Japan, and many other countries. Indonesia, I see many friends, many contacts from Indonesia, and many other places around the world. So this really a proof that we have a global discussion going on. And now I don't want to take more time, and we can keep the schedule, and I would like to give the floor to Jan Hyung Kim to introduce us his STEAM practices, those experiences what were led to this wonderful award he just received. And in the next 1 hour and 15 minutes roughly, we will hear Jan Hyung Kim's talk, and there will be an opportunity for questions and comments afterwards. We already received some very exciting questions, but I hope that you will also interact live after Jan Hyung Kim talk. So the floor is yours, Mr. Jan Hyung Kim. Congratulations.
Do you hear me and can you see it? Okay. Before I start my presentation, I'd like to thank everyone who inspired me about STEAM. Hello everyone, my name is Jun Hyung Kim. I teach math at a high school in Korea. I'm honored to share my story with you. I like STEAM class because STEAM class is vivid. I hope my presentation will be helpful to you. I will give you the presentation in the following order. First, why do we need STEAM? Second, designing with GeoGebra and building with Po디프레임. Third, appropriate technology camp 2020. And then making a large geodesic dome. Then making 10-meter tall, 12-meter tall water water. Then making a catapult. And then making a water cleaning boat. Lastly, time to wrap up. Why do we need STEAM? I don't think students can improve their critical thinking if they study only for college entrance exams. But through STEAM class, I firmly believe that we can enhance our students' academic performance in math. So, at first, I tried to design with GeoGebra and build with Po디프레임. It means connecting digital and analog and observing many principles of physics in daily life. In order to build some figure with Po디프레임, we have to design just using dots and lines on GeoGebra. However, it is very difficult to draw such a torus using the icons on GeoGebra. So, it is much better to use sequence commands. Sequence commands simplify complex steps. When you enter a command like this, GeoGebra displays 5 dots. Applying this, we can make a torus in the following order. A torus can be complete like this. GeoGebra measures the length of each line segment, so you can use simple proportions to make a torus of any size. These are the figures I designed with GeoGebra. You can make a water drop in the same ways as the torus. It looks like an egg. It can be made in the same way. It is a water water. I forgot to tell you, I didn't do this. It is one of the structures that my students made. I will tell you about this later. You can also make a geodesic dome. It looks very complicated, but it is also possible. You can try a climb bottle in the same way as I did. You can create dynamic movements like a catapult. Sorry. Movements of a wing can be made in the same way. So how can we make a torus without GeoGebra? This regular decagon is the cross section of a torus. Based on this, you can find the length of each segment of the torus. I prepared all 40 frame units based on my blueprint, and I put them together in order. In this way, you can see a connection of mathematics, computer software, and hardware. Based on these experiences, I have held appropriate technology camps 3 times so far. The objective of the campus is to build water waters and collect water from the air to solve a water shortage. A few days before the first camp started, I happened to see dew forming in a mountain nearby. So I was sure that I could collect enough dew. Would there be a lot of water as I expected? Flipped learning was used to make my students understand the crucial principles of each subject. The students watched these videos and participated in this camp. The videos did not contain much information. Instead, they had to find the solutions through discussions. I got the materials the students asked for. Basic tools include 40 frame, thin metal wire, mat, and aluminum foil, net, and so on. The students use the GeoGebra to design water waters in their desired shapes, and they considered many variables for their experiments. Some students decided to make a cactus-shaped water water, and others made the 2 same size and same shape water waters, but put different types of net around their water waters. One was made of plastic string and the other was made of fishing line. These students are designing a water water in the shape they want to make using GeoGebra. They are putting the water waters together using 40 frames according to their plans. This video shows how the project is progressing in more detail. These students made the largest water water, Later, I will tell you more about how deeply they thought and explored while while participating. The shape of this waka water is creative. All of the students who participated in the experiment made waka waters with different shapes. These tools were actually used by the students involved in this project. According to their plans, the students picked the tools they wanted and took them as if they were shopping. This table shows the natural conditions on the day when we carried out the experiment. As you can see, it was a tropical night. It means that the weather was very hot and humid. These students used the funnel to increase the humidity inside the waka water. These students made their own net using thin wire. They thought that dew would form better on the wire. These students thought that dew would gather well on leaves. So they took a lot of leaves and hung them on their waka water. These students made balls with aluminum foil and put it in the waka water. They thought that the aluminum foil would have a lot of dew. Let's take a look at a video clip. You can see what they are doing.
이래도 돼? 아 근데 아까 나무까지
This student is placing their waka water around the artificial lake at school to increase humidity. She fixed the structure to the ground with a fishing line to prevent it from falling over. Watching this video, you can see how much fun they are having in the camp. These students are putting their waka water under a large tree. These are the photos of the waka waters they put at school. What do you think was the result of the experiment? As you might expect, we couldn't collect dew because it was really hot on that day. Many people may say that we failed, but I don't think this is a failure. From these experiences, my students learned that plans and outcomes could be different, and they also learned what was required to get over outcomes they wanted from the experiment.
일단 먹으면 돼.
The process of analyzing the results is very important. As you can see in this video, students realized it and learned a lot from the process of analyzing the results. They made good use of principles they learned in science class to analyze their results. They are seriously preoccupied with analyzing the results. Now they are presenting the experiment results and suggesting an alternative plan. After our first challenge was over, some of students were very disappointed because they were unable to collect dew. They asked me to give them another opportunity to try again when the weather got colder. And I gladly accepted their offer. So we decided to try again. All the students who had participated joined the second camp again. I did not force them to try again, but it was amazing that all the students participated again. I think that's because they had a lot of fun from the last camp. The place where we held our second camp was pretty cold. It is close to where I live. As you can see, there is a stream nearby. This is a stream. Therefore, it is very cold at night. This table shows the current natural conditions on experiment day. As you can see, the experiment day was a little cold, but the wind blew very hard. I was worried that it would be evaporated by the wind even if we got dew. As we did in the last camp, we prepared the experimental tools and gave some explanations related to the experiment to the participants. The students made experiment plans. They reflected in their plans what they had learned from the last camp. Students are designing the desired shapes of aqua water using GeoGebra. And they are assembling according to their own designs. However, during the camp, it suddenly started to rain. We didn't know what to do. When it rains, the amount of dew cannot be accurately measured. So we measured the precipitation. The exact amount of dew was calculated based on this. We made the aqua water until late at night, and after they were complete, we placed them near the stream. And we went to the site at dawn to see if there was real dew. Was there really dew there? To our disappointment, there was no dew there. There were only traces of dew. It might have been evaporated by the wind because the wind blew really hard. We started analyzing the results again. And these students are presenting their findings. It was exciting and informative as well. The students were very disappointed with the fact that they failed again. I thought it was totally over this time. However, something interesting happened. Several students are preparing another experiment for themselves. They said they would put up a waka water somewhere around the school to watch it closely. They were enjoying the experiment itself. They found the best place, placed the waka water there, and experimented for about a week. And finally, they succeeded in collecting a small amount of dew. However, it wasn't enough to solve the problem of drinking water shortage. So we started to think what environmental conditions would be required to collect a large amount of dew. So I prepared another camp. The goal is this camp was to collect a large amount of dew. So I provided dry ice and boiling water to the students. This is because I wanted to collect a large amount of dew using the sudden temperature difference. Students measured temperature and humidity using digital thermal hygrometer. Students chose the tools they needed for their experiments in this classroom. I did a pilot experiment using an empty aluminum can and dry ice. 1 hour later, I got a lot of drops of dew. I thought the students could get the same result. In the same way as before, the student designed waka waters using GeoGebra. Remarkably, this time it was pretty easy to design and assemble because the students got used to GeoGebra. They experimented according to their plans. As you can see in the photo on the right, the experiment tool students made was amazing. The device created a large amount of dew by allowing the aluminum can of dry ice to directly meet the hot air and condensing and gathering the dew in one place. Their creativity and problem-solving skills were great. Well, we succeeded in getting large amount of dew, but as you see, in fact, it was not through appropriate technology. We used dry ice and boiling water. Afterwards, students looked into the case of Ethiopia. And by analyzing the environmental conditions in the area, we learned why dew can be collected only in the natural environment. Through this series of courses, students realized that math and science are the keys to solving problems we are facing now. I worked on a project to build a large geodesic dome. I'd like to check the temperature and humidity inside and outside by covering the dome surface with vinyl. If the temperature inside the dome is much higher than the outside, the geodesic dome can be used as a suitable technique. The progress of designing a geodesic dome with GeoGebra is as shown. Interestingly, the dome designed by GeoGebra is exact not half of a sphere. It is a little bigger than the half. It should be done this way because it is the principle of a geodesic dome that should be applied in order to make it. And assembling a geodesic dome is so simple because it has the same patterns. This is a pattern, same pattern. Assembling a large geodesic dome is simple but not easy because it is about 3 meters tall. So it is very important to work together. The students helped each other well, and finally they succeeded in building a large geodesic dome. It was night, so we decided to cover the dome surface with vinyl next day. The large geodesic dome was supposed to be in the same place until the next morning. I went inside the dome. Looking out from inside the dome, it was very wonderful. How does it look from inside the dome? Let's watch this video. The moment that we covered the dome surface with vinyl, the wind suddenly blew hard, and then our dome collapsed by the wind. We can predict that the inside of the dome covered with vinyl is warmer than the outside of the dome. What will happen if you design a large structure using GeoGebra and make it using Po디프레임 in the real world? Will the structure that is stable in GeoGebra will still be stable in the real world? GeoGebra is not under gravity, but the real world is affected by gravity all the time. I wanted to check this myself, so I experimented with my students. This is a 10-meter high structure that I designed using GeoGebra. I thought this was pretty stable. The students used my blueprint to develop a strategy for putting this large structure together. Students cut Po디프레임. We assembled the 40 frame based on the blueprint. As you can see in the pictures, the structure that I showed you earlier is similar to that one that my students actually built. But the students started to tell me things like this. Teacher, the 40 frame pieces don't fit together well. I thought it was because some lengths of 40 frame cut by the students were wrong. However, this was not their fault. It was because of gravity. As we assemble the 40 frame, the weight increases, and the circumference of the circle also increases than that of the blueprint. This was something I had never predicted, and I found this very interesting. I became curious about how to make a tall structure using 40 frame as a material. So I used the 40 frame to a minimum to reduce the weight. And I realized that the closer the external shape of the structure is to a straight line, the less stable it is in the real world. So I designed it in a curved shape. I found that the more flexible and the stronger it is. We got back together and cut the 40 frame, and we started putting them together with cable. We tied the points that line segments intersect. By doing so, the cable could hold the structure together. But again, a problem occurred. The 4-meter high structure collapsed. What was the problem?
야, 조금만 뒤로 물러. 여기 조금만 뒤로 물러주세요. 조금만 뒤로 가볼래? 살짝만. 근데 케이블 타이 없었으면 이미 무너졌어. 우리 쪽이 너무 지금 그지? 그래서 어떻게 시작해보자. 여기가 힘을 많이 받았지. 여기가 힘을 많이 받았으니까 이쪽이 좀 저쪽이 좀 낮춰야 되지 않을까? 그쪽이? 야, 그쪽이 너무 높은 거 아닐까? 낚시줄이야. 낚시줄이 없어서 그래?
as you can see, this structure was very strong. However, in the process of lifting it up and adding another layer on it, there was a problem of collaboration among students. The students had to lift the structure at the same time and hold it for a long time. And I designed the line segment too long without considering how tall they were. So even though the students did their best, it was very hard to add the new layer. It was my fault. So what is the solution to this? According to my analysis, the structure has to be twisted a little bit more, and the outer shape has to be smoother. Furthermore, by using two hexapod as one connector to connect tubes, which helps the structure to keep the original shape itself. I will try again next year based on this. This year, the COVID-19 situation is too bad to try anymore. I will introduce my making a catapult project. At first, I showed my students the functioning principle of the catapult through GeoGebra. The students analyzed my GGB file and searched internet resources. They made catapults according to their plans. And they used the catapult they made to play a game of throwing the ball farther and more accurately. I had a fun time with the students. This is the last thing I'm going to share. I had the most fun doing this project this year. This project was to making a water cleaning boat. A water cleaning boat collects garbage floating at a lake, on a lake. This boat has to maintain balance and move forward. What do math and science knowledge do when we make this boat? What roles can math play here? This is a complex but very exciting project. We used the principles of a rubber band plane propeller to move the boat. However, because the propellers are exerting its force counterclockwise only, the boat rotates big in one direction. We wanted our boat to move forward. To do this, we had to think about several things. First, in science class, we taught principles to maintain balance in all four directions and move forward. Second, through math class, we taught principles to calculate the average velocity of the boats my students made. And the students experimented several times with their boats in a small swimming pool installed at school. The students constantly asked and answered each other to find the solutions. In order for the boat to maintain its balance on the water, it needs the principle of the lever. Students studied hard to understand it correctly. The students chose experimental tools and learned basic principles they needed. Each group made their own water cleaning boat. It was impressive that the students made a variety of water cleaning boats. It's a pig. Yeah. These are the water cleaning boats made by students. Did these boats move forward on the water? First, the teachers, including myself, experimented with our simple boat. With a lubo band, a normal boat runs on water like this. We found a strategy to move forward. We filled one empty bottle with water.
저번에 저 중학교 때 공동회계 대회 했었는데 저 옆에 다른 중학교까지 갔어요. 그래가지고 그 주소 오느라 진짜 한 2시간 걸렸던 것 같아요. GPS라는 단어를 무게를 주고.
Let's see how the boats move.
와우. 지금 한쪽의 무게, 양쪽의 무게가 다른 거죠?
네. 무게가
신기하다.
진짜 좋다. 괜찮네요.
If you turn the boat upside down, it moves like this.
네. 뭐야? 대박 사건이다.
안 찍으면 이따가 똑같은 실수를 반복할 수 있으니까 찍어.
찍어주세요. 그리고 저한테 여기 진행이 너무 하는 거 아니야? 빼야 되는 거 아니야? 아니지. 그러면 저기 진행이면 공부로 하는 건 이유가 뭐야?
At the first attempt, all the boats made by my students rotated widely in one direction like this. Students recorded how their boats moved and analyzed it to correct it.
프로펠러 방향을 좀 잘 봐야겠는데?
얘 돌는 거 반대 방향으로. 그러니까 앞에 있는 물을 뒤로 보낼 수 있게 프로펠러가 가야 되는데. 앞에 있는
잘 봐봐.
뭐야.
어떻게 해야지 앞으로 가는지를 생각을 해봐.
What is the problem? This is due to the direction of winding the rubber band. One rubber band was wound clockwise and the other was wound counterclockwise to these students both rotated in place. The process in which students analyze this is very important. Here lies the objective of this project. Now, my students experiment to confirm how much pollutants our student boats can collect. For this, I put some pollutants in a small pool. How many pollutants can be retrieved? Most of the student boats are rotating widely in one direction. It seems that they still haven't found the solution. I did not tell them about the solution that the teachers had found. I wanted them to find it for themselves. Most of students both rotated big in one direction or rotated in place. It's because the students could not find the solution. Furthermore, repetitive experiments and the friction by the net made the boat disfigure. Then, does this look like a successful experiment? My students say, "Oh, but I think it is not, because the balance of the boat was lost, and the propellers were completely submerged in the water. The friction of the water caused the boat to move in a big circular motion. So we needed premises for the next experiment with the students. First, the boat must advance, maintain complete balance. Second, the propellers must not be submerged in the water." And here's the most remarkable water cleaning boat. This boat is different from the rest. What is the difference? They put some net in the middle of the boat, so it minimized the resistance caused by water. If they had adjusted the weight a little bit, their boat could have moved forward much more. However, I praised this team for their creativity. They made a nice water cleaning boat. This experience will give these students confidence to solve real-world problems in the future. It is time to analyze their experiment. That is the most important moment in class. Now, I will summarize that I've presented today. First, real-world problems are not that simple. they cannot be solved with knowledge of a single subject. Second, teachers should not tell the students everything. The students learn from their mistakes. And last, we must provide these experiences to the students constantly. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Young-Kyung Kim. I'm really amazed, and instead of being without words from the amazement, you provoked a lot of thoughts, and you also made me remember to a lot of memories and my own experiences, because obviously we walked parallel paths for some experiments, though I also have to admit that I wasn't far as courageous as you've been with your students, and I also couldn't be as systematic as you've been in this project. So congratulations. And I think we all can agree that making connection between mathematics learning with real world phenomenon, and also adding creativity and arts and all these complex connections can be a desirable goal for every of us, because as you also presented, your students had their own driving motives and engagement to bring forward your own ideas and your experiments, and somehow this project just started to organize itself on some point, but you've always been very careful to draw the conclusions and draw the lessons to learn from each of these experiments. Just a little story that among the first times when I created Varka water model with my students in Finland, of course not as impressive and not as a complex way as you did, but my students been always excited to try to test it if it really can collect water. And my idea was that in many cases Podipreframe is more serving like a model to show the structure, but it would be really highly risky that if it really works, because of the many reasons what you also introduced us in your presentation. But anyway, I didn't have the heart to stop the children. They just ran out from the classroom and installed their smaller Varka waters outdoors in proper places. And they were really excited to see on the other day if it collected water or not. And it did, actually. So we've been really lucky, I should say, and it was also a lesson for me that these intentions have to be planned and supported from the beginning. Actually, another short story that together with Mr. Park, when we wrote a paper for the world's largest mathematics and art community for Bridges about Varka water structure and about summer camps and workshops, I was really careful to check this paper with my father-in-law, who's a water engineer, and actually one of the best water engineers in Hungary. And he reminded me that, okay, it can work, but you need to worry about that it will work in very special climate conditions. And this Ethiopian highland might be one special location when it works excellently, but probably it won't work in every places where you just want to install it. Okay, these personal reflections just was some time to give you to think about questions. I have very many questions collected already from the chat and also from people who submitted their questions beforehand. But first, I would like to address those who are here in live to please switch in your microphone, switch in your camera if you want. And this is a wonderful opportunity to talk personally with our presenter. So please, questions, comments. Just go ahead. You don't need to have a permission. Just switch in your mic. First comes, first served. If you have no question yet, but you want to say something for the presenter for this occasion, you can also welcome. Okay, you are many here. I won't see everyone's camera, so just go ahead. If you have something to say. Okay, Arnold, maybe you unmute. Yes, thank you.
And I hope we are all fine. I really enjoyed this because I have had some exercises with some learners on how to play around with GeoGebra and also with Podiprem. I really appreciate what this man did, and it's really awesome. I think we have quite a lot to learn from him. He is really leading in this Podiprem. I just want to know the ages of his learners, which grades were these ones, and what was their sort of like prior experience as far as Podiprem is concerned, and where next, like 2024, 2025. Thanks very much.
Thank
우선
you.
바로 답변하실 건가요, 선생님?
정확하게 못 알아들었어요.
네네. 우선 우선 이제 학생들의 나이나 연령대, 그 다음에 예, 그런 거부터 해서 설명해 주시면 될 것 같습니다. 그래서 이 프로젝트가 이제 이 연령대에 왜 적합하다고 생각하셨는지 그런 정도를 이제 이야기해 주시면 될 것 같습니다.
한글로 해야 되겠는데요, 제가.
네, 관계없습니다.
네, 학생들은 17살에서 18살 정도 되고, 이게 이 프로젝트에서 가장 중요한 것은 이제 협업이기 때문에 그 협업을 할 수 있는 학생들의 상황을 생각했을 때 이 나이대 학생들이 좀 적합하지 않았나 그렇게 생각해요.
So the students are basically ages between 17 to 18, and he came to this idea of projects in order to enhance their ability of cooperation and problem solving abilities.
Thank you very much. Let me share you two questions from the chat line. Ala Eriksson and Luis Alenta, they are both interested if this presentation material will be shared, maybe in the form of a PDF or a PowerPoint, and if the video will be shared. And also belonging to that, is there any guide for teachers, what you could offer in connection with your project? Will you summarize somehow, maybe in a catalog or in a written form, also your experiences?
혹시 이제 이탈리아의 루이자 렌타 선생님이 질문해 주신 내용인데요. 혹시 이제 뭐 이러한 프로젝트를 할 수 있는 선생님을 위한 가이드나 이런 것들이 있다면은 이제 좀 공유를 부탁하신다는 내용입니다.
제가 특별하게 어떤 만든 가이드라인은 사실 있지 않고, 저는 우리 학교에 팀이 있어요. 수학 선생님 2명과 과학 선생님 2명의 팀이 있고, 그들 모두가 다 스팀 수업에 관심이 있기 때문에 프로젝트를 진행할 때 있어서 항상 같이 협업을 해요. 회의를 하고 책을 통해서 아이템도 찾고 그렇게 해서 진행하고 있어요.
So actually, he doesn't have any written guide for teachers, but this project is made by a group of not just by himself, but a group of teachers consisted of 2 mathematics teachers and 2 science teachers. So in the previous question, he mentioned about enhancing the ability of co-working and collaboration. And actually that exactly applies the same to the teachers as well. So teachers are doing like they need to have team projects and they need team spirit as well. So this is how the project is made.
Thank you a lot. Von Young, one of our guests, thinks about how long did the Varka Water project, how long time Varka Water project took?
During 2 years. Yeah, during 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Very, very impressive. Thank you. More questions from people who are here and eager to switch in mic and have a little live conversation with our presenter. Okay, again, until someone collect courage, Charlotte Graham ask or comment that very interesting combination with a competitive element for the students and body language and facial expressions showing, also proving that how they were involved and engaged. True. Okay, other live comments, live questions?
저 질문 하나 있는데요.
So
한국말로 해도 되죠?
그럼요. 환영합니다. 네.
그 학교에서 교육과정이 뭐 자율적으로 운영될 수 있는 자유학기제나 이런 거가 있어서 하실 수 있는 건가요? 아니면 그냥 수학 시간을 다 활용해서 하시는 건가요?
먼저 질문 먼저 통역하나요?
네. So this is about the Korean system. This question is related to the Korean education system. So was this class possible thanks to the free semester scheme, or can this project can be made in a regular class time as well? So she's asking about the flexibility of time spent in this kind of class.
네, 그래서 학교에서는 이런 프로젝트를 있을 때마다 학생들을 모집을 해요. 그래서 정규 수업 시간에 할 수 있는 건 아니고, 저희도 그냥 일반 고등학교이기 때문에 정규 수업 시간에 할 수 있는 건 아니고 학생들을 모집을 해서 그 모집한 학생들을 대상으로 뭐 주말이나 아니면 방과 후에 그렇게 진행하고 있습니다.
So Junyoung, today's presenter, the school he's working for is not some like designated specialized school. This is just a regular high school. So the class, this kind of class is not taking place during the regular class time, but he accepts volunteers volunteering students to be involved for this project class. And so they are doing like after class or even during the weekend.
Thank you very much. From those questions which were asked even previously, prior to this presentation, there were several questions concerning the combination of hands-on learning and digital modeling. So hands-on modeling and digital modeling, that how you combine GeoGebra, and Podipreme. What's your experiences about this in general? And also, how do you suggest to begin with this combination? Okay, so 2 questions. What's your experiences as a professional on the field now? How do you feel about this combination? What do you think it's important about? And also, if you would recommend to beginners how to start, what would be your advice?
이제 크가 2가지인데요. 이제 교육자로서 이제 이러한 뭐랄까 이런 융합 프로그램에 이런 이제 융합과 이제 협력 프로그램에 대한 어떤 생각을 가지고 계시는지 궁금하고요. 또 하나는 이제 정말로 이런 것들을 처음 시작하려는 사람들에게 이제 어떤 해주고 싶은 조언 같은 게 있으신지 여쭤보는 질문입니다.
네, 첫 번째 질문에 대한 거는 제가 여기 프레젠테이션에도 말씀을 드렸지만 학생들이 어떤 주어진 문제를 빨리 푼다고 해서 수학적 사고력이 향상되지 않는다. 그래서 이렇게 복잡하고 현실 문제들을 해결해보는 경험이 어떤 그들의 어떤 수학적 능력이나 문제 해결 능력을 향상시킬 수 있다. 그리고 2번째는 제 생각에는 같이 이걸 할 수 있는 팀이 필요한 것 같다. 혼자서 하기엔 너무 힘들고 마음이 맞는 선생님들과 함께 같이 운영해 보시는 게 가장 필요할 것 같습니다.
So the answer to the first question is going to be, this is about problem solving, but the ability to problem solving, but the manner matters. So this is not about quickly solving the problem. This is about going to the right way. So what they need to do is to achieve a goal, a very complicated and realistic goal. So that is what they need. And that kind of complicated and complex projects can actually help more about gaining real ability regarding problem solving. And the answer to the second question is you need to form a team anyway, at least. So this project is too big and too grand to make to be done alone. So you need someone who can collaborate all together and make a team of teachers in order to make a group of students who can collaborate with you all together.
Thank you very much. This leads to another question coming from the participants. How do you think about efficiency in curriculum? Because there is certainly a concern if you stop by too long for certain topics, then you miss opportunities to go deep enough in those areas which will be, for example, tested on some point, and what will also have an impact on the students' future. So how can you keep the balance? How did you gain time for these kind of activities in the tight curriculum?
성호 씨 해석해 주세요.
그래서 이제 어떻게 결국은 이제 커리큘럼에 있어서 어떤 것을 이제 어떠한 목표를 삼느냐에 관한 것인데요. 이제 뭐 빠르게 하는 것보다는 이제 정확하면서도 다양한 문제 해결 능력을 기르는 것이 중요하다고 할 수 있겠습니다.
그럼 질문이 뭐죠? 질문이
정리하는 얘기. Christoph, I'm sorry, but could you please come again? I didn't catch your last words.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry about that. So I was interested that how Yun gained time, how he got enough time to realize these activities, and how he made balance between this pressuring curriculum, what he needed to complete over a limited time, and these activities which required a lot of time and a lot of free experimenting, how he kept balanced.
그러니까 이제 그리고 또 선생님께서요. 선생님 들리시죠?
네네.
선생님이 이제 원래 하셔야 될 정규 교육 과정이나 이런 것이 또 있으시잖아요. 근데
네네.
이런 이제 이것은 말하자면 이제 정규 교육 과정에 굳이 이제 포함되지는 않는 내용인데 이런 것들까지 추가로 준비하시면서 어떻게 시간의 균형을 잘 맞추시고 또한 이제 정규 교육 과정에서 원래 준비하셔야 할 내용에도 소홀하지 않으면서 이러한 이제 엑스트라 프로젝트까지 이제 진행하셨던 그런 이제 비결이나 혹시 방법 이런 것들이 있으시다면 궁금하다고 합니다.
우리 한국에서는 학생들이 수학을 대부분 싫어해요. 왜 싫어하냐면 수학이 필요 없다고 생각하거든요. 수학이 유용하지 못하다. 그렇게 생각을 해요. 그래서 이 학생들에게 이러한 경험을 주는 것이 필요해요. 그리고 학생들이 대부분 수학을 공부하는 것에 대해서 힘들어 하거든요. 그래서 학생들이 이러한 경험이 있어야 오히려 수업 시간에 수학이 이래서 필요하구나라는 인식이 생기기 때문이고 그래서 시간의 밸런스는 사실 제 어떤 자유 시간이 조금 뭐 소모되기는 하지만 약간 중독 같아요. 네. 처음 한번 프로젝트 하고 이제 좀 힘드니까 그만해야지 하지만 또 어느새 뭔가를 새롭게 준비하고 있어요. 네.
So actually, unfortunately, actually in Korea, many students hate mathematics. This is fact anyway, and yeah, but the main reason for this is many students think that mathematics is unnecessary for real life. So what he was trying to, what his aim was to let them have experience about the real mathematics using in real life. So, but yeah, this might be difficult for the when in the beginning, but eventually he can explain why mathematics is necessary in your real life to all those participating students. So so since this kind of project is some sort of like extracurricular or like extra time project, so this means extra work, of course. So he has to sacrifice some of his free time and some of his like leisure time for leisure. But once he have done the project, once he make an achievement, it makes him to venture into another challenge. So the challenge, venture, achievement, and then attempt another challenge, another venturing, and another experience of achievements. So that is some kind of like addicting. So he felt some kind of addictiveness in this process. So that is how he can do all the regular curriculums and extra curriculum as well.
Thank you very much. So we know that Korea is a very special place for many reasons, but unfortunately, students' math attitudes is unfortunately similar in many other countries as well. So it doesn't seem to relate to country, but we all need to work about this and care about this. And your project is a great example to how to make an advantage also from the disadvantage, because as we can see that probably traditional mathematics education and many ways as mathematics can be taught is not necessarily keeping into account these kind of opportunities with the real world connections. But when you start to focus on it in your systematic way and in your careful way, it can have also a positively dramatic effect, and we should build from these experiences, I think. And when we are talking about STEAM's STEAM approach details, we can see that many people are celebrating STEAM, and also we are together to celebrate these approaches. But on the other hand, we can also see criticisms against these kind of approaches. There was also one comment or question previously this presentation, which called the attention that the too many engineering stuff and engineering topics in the math class could bring the focus away from the sort of real mathematical thinking and mathematical problem solving as it is. How do you see this potential conflict that mathematical thinking as an essential activity which is valuable on its own, and engineering applications and applied mathematics to gain attention to mathematics? How do you keep the balance?
우선 이제 선생님 처음 답변하셨던 것 중에 사실 수학 싫어하는 거는 어느 나라나 다 이제 있는 현상이라고, 이제 그러면서 이제 이러한 이제 선생님의 수업 모델이나 이런 것들이 다른 나라에도 충분히 잘 적용될 수 있을 거라는 이야기가 나왔었고요. 그 다음에 이번에는 이제 약간 좀 비판적인 시각에서 바라보는 그러한 질문을 이제 받아보았다고 합니다. 이제 지금 이제 이게 기본적으로는 수학 교과에 해당이 되는 수업이라고 할 수가 있잖아요. 그런데 이제 이 프로젝트를 쭉 이제 진행하고 그러다 보면 이제 공학적인 요소들도 상당히 이제 가미가 많이 되는 그런 경향이 있는데요. 그러다 보면은 이제 경계를 허문다라는 측면에 들어갈 수도 있겠지만은, 어쩌면은 이제 수학이 이제 수학 시간인데 수학이라는 것의 비중이 지나치게 줄어들고 공학의 비중이 지나치게 수학 시간치고는 공학의 비중이 지나치게 높아지는 그러한 현상도 있을 수 있다고 생각을 한다고 합니다, 질문자께서요. 그래서 이제 수학과 공학의 비중을 어떻게 잘 조정하고 균형을 맞추시는지에 대해서 선생님께 질문을 드리고자 합니다.
먼저 저는 그렇게 생각해요. 수학의 역할을 이해할 필요성이 있다고 보는데, 예를 들어서 아인슈타인이 한테 수학이라는 도구를 주지 않았으면 우리의 운명, 미래의 운명을 바꾼 상대성 이론 같은 것도 나올 수가 없었겠죠. 그러니까 수학이라는 도구는 복잡한 세상을 아주 간단하게 정리해주고, 그 간단하게 정리한 개념을 그 간단한 정리한 개념을 이용해서 확장시켜줄 수 있는 도구라고 보거든요. 그렇기 때문에 수학을 공부해야 되는 이유가 거기서 생기는 것 같아요. 그래서 수학의 비중이 낮아진다는 것의 의미가 수학 공부를 안 한다는 것이 아니라, 수학을 알아야만 우리가 어떤 물리적인 어떤 현상이라든지 이런 걸 다 분석할 수 있는 거죠. 그렇기 때문에 우리가 앞으로 사실 모든 현상들이 다 물리적인 거잖아요. 우리가 걷는 거, 비행기 날아가는 거, 이런 모든 것들이 다 물리적인 현상이기 때문에 수학의 역할은 그런 데서 발생하는 것 같습니다. 예.
So he thinks that we need to understand the role of mathematics first. Like even Albert Einstein started everything beginning from the math. So in short, mathematics is about summarizing all those complexities and all those complex things, complicated things of everything around the world. So we can say that we can summarize the world, and that's mathematics. So starting from that basics, we can extend our thinking, and that is how the mathematics is going to be developed. So that is the reason why we need to study mathematics. So in the root, so mathematics can be something like a root. Mathematics can be so starting from mathematics, we can analyze everything, and we can experience all those everything happening in terms of in the perspective of physics as well. So that is what. So that is why he thinks that this project can lead students to gain interest about mathematics. That is why that is the reason he thinks this class is still about mathematics.
선생님 한 가지만 더.
네네네. 네, 말씀하세요. 네.
원래
One more thing.
원래 모든 개념들은 분리되어 있지 않았어요. 그러니까 우리가 교육과정이라는 것에 의해서 분리되어서 배우는 거지. 사실은 모든 우리가 알고 있는 지식들은 통합되어야지 된다고 봐요. 그래야지 좀 더 확장을 이룰 수가 있습니다.
So originally, all those disciplines were not divided. Everything was in some sort of thing, and so for the like administrative and those bureaucratic reasons, all those disciplines and those subjects were divided actually. So we need to in the actual learning process, we need to integrate those divided notions and disciplines all together. So that is what it thinks.
Thank you very much. I think at this point, it's already too late, but at this point, at least I need to give credit to our wonderful translator here, Sung-Wo Lim, who is not in easy situation between maybe two complex questions, but very compact and dense answers. So thank you very much, Sung-Wo Lim, for standing firmly your place between us in the midst of this brainstorm here. And just to ease your situation a bit, there is coming a really simple question for you to translate, but probably very difficult question for our presenter from Indonesia. What is STEAM for you? What is STEAM for you?
선생님이 스팀은 선생님에게 무엇입니까?
쉬운 질문인데 되게 어렵네요.
Yes, just like Christopher said, easy but difficult question.
그냥 수학 교사의 입장에서 본다고 하면은 오히려 학생들이 수학 공부를 할 수 있는 이유를 만들어 줄 수 있는 수업?
So, as a perspective of mathematics teachers, this is like letting this STEAM is like letting the students motivating students to start studying mathematics.
Thank you. So you see it like a motivational core of this integration.
동기부여를 해주는 이제 핵심 요소가 STEAM이라고 생각하시는 말씀이시죠?
그렇죠. 네, 그것도
Yes,
그렇고, 네, 그리고 정말 학교에서 교사들이 중요하다고 가르치는 지식들이 사실은 완전히 파편적이고 분리되어 있고 그것이 오로지 시험을 위한 것이기 때문에 학생들이 싫어한다. 그런데 이런 스팀 수업 같은 것을 경험해 보면 우리가 왜 이런 걸 배워야 되는지를 알 수 있기 때문에 우린 지속적으로 이런 경험들을 제공해 줘야 한다. 그리고 사실 본질적으로 학교의 모습이 PBL, 그 프로젝트 베이스드 러닝의 형태로 앞으로 가야 한다. 네, 그렇게 생각해요.
So actually, we have to think. Does the things teacher are teaching, which teachers are saying this is important, that is important, are they really the most important thing or he can teach? So actually, he doesn't think so. That is because actually those like important, so-called important things are actually only focused on exams. Like so particularized and divided then just focusing on exam and getting higher scores, and yeah, you can get A+, you can get 100 out of 100%, 100. So some things of like that. So, but we need to go back to origin of school, and STEAM can tell the students why do they need to learn. And so I think this highly depends on experience, giving experience to the students. And so he thinks that the schools should be oriented into like project-based learning system, to overcome this the problem and dilemma the schools are facing now these days.
Thank you very much. Yahi Park has a question to you.
네, 박재희 선생님.
네, 김 선생님, 네, 감사합니다. 일단요, 제가 영어로 제가 나름대로 정리할 시간이 있어서요. 영어로 먼저 이야기하고 제가 한국어로도 질문할게요. So thank you so much for sharing the project-based learning with girls, especially girls. I only saw the girls, and they remind me of my high school life too. And thank you so much for encouraging them not to give up, so that we were able to see how the project went from the beginning to the end. It was really, impressive, and also it's such a precious, collection of data for any preliminary studies, I think. And I was very interested in students' roles and their learning to fulfill their role in their collaborative over the project. And I really think that was a valuable opportunity that all of the students were able to participate or even observe, from planning for the project to analyzing the question. And most of them look like participatory collaborators, but how you as a teacher would keep supporting an individual to expand their participation to a new project by applying to their previous project-based learning. 네, 그래서 제 질문은요,
네.
그 학생들이 프로젝트를 처음부터 끝까지 다 보고 참여해 본 것이 정말 저는 인상적이었고, 또 그게 하나의 큰 자산이 될 것 같아요. 그런데 이제 저도 선생님이었던 적이 있어요. 이제 그런 경험들을 또 이제 어떻게 학생들이 또 새로운 과제나 또 새로운 아이디어로 계속 이렇게 확장을 해 가면서 자신의 역할을 또 이렇게 훌륭한 협업가로서 혹은 리더로서 또 계속 이렇게 확장할 수 있을지, 선생님으로서 어떻게 또 계속 이렇게 격려하고 싶은지 알고 싶습니다.
일단 지금 현재 우리가 사는 세상은 지식은 이미 넘치도록 이미 널려 있고 웹상에 널려 있고, 그것을 어떻게 조직화해서 창의적인 무언가를 만들어내느냐의 싸움이 될 것 같은데, 학교에서의 이러한 경험들, 그러니까 공부를 잘하는 학생이 실제로 훌륭한 리더가 될 수 있는 건 아니잖아요. 그래서 학생들이 이렇게 같이 이런 프로젝트에서 자기 것도 양보하고 자기 의견을 조율해서 또 다른 어떠한 산출물을 만들어내고, 이러한 과정들을 이제 지속적으로 경험한 학생들은 이렇게 불확실성이 완전히 지배하는 이 세상에서 그래도 분명히 뭔가 해결책이나 돌파구를 만들 수 있는 능력이 생겼을 거라고 봐요. 네. 그래요.
So actually nowadays knowledge is everywhere. Actually, you can search anything on the web, you can Google everything. But the real problem for the world now is to organize something and to organize those knowledges and to make something creative out of those wave of knowledges. So a student doesn't have to study well to it is not necessary to study well to do great things. That's something different. So so these days students what they really need is real life experience. So if a student earns a lot of real life related experience during his or her school time, and that person can solve real problems even after leaving school. If after graduation, they can adapt to go on and live on to the real life. So that is the ability he wants to let all of his students should earn.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Japan.
일본에서 질문이 왔어요.
Concerning again STEAM and STEAM in Korea. So what's the main concept behind introducing STEAM in Korea on the elementary level and in junior high school and high school? So do you see any difference between the role of STEAM introduced on these levels in Korea?
네, 일본에서 들어온 질문인데요. 한국에서의 스팀 교육의 개념에 관해서 이제 정확히는 학교 급에 관해서 이제 물어보고 있습니다. 초등학교랑 중학교, 중학교 그리고 고등학교에서 스팀 교육의 역할이 어떻게 각각 다른지 아니면 대동소이한지 이런 이제 세부적인 내용에 관해서 이제 선생님께 질문드리고자 합니다.
스팀이 지향하는 목표는 똑같을 것 같아요. 그런데 그 스팀 안에 녹아있는 교과의 깊이가 조금 다를 것 같아요. 초등학교는 아무래도 깊이 있는 어떤 과목들을 다룰 수는 없잖아요. 근데 고등학교 오면 뭐 미적분도 배우고 확률의 개념도 배우기 때문에 학생들이 다룰 수 있는 어떤 그 주제의 폭이 넓어지는 것 같습니다.
So STEAM education basically has same goals in all levels. But the difference is how deep can they go actually. So for the elementary school students, it is too difficult to teach something which can be learned in high school. So in that way, so the only difference can be the level and how far they can go altogether. I think most of other elements can be same.
Thank you very much. There was a question from India that, yeah, you already told your position about combining different subject knowledge and integration. We already heard and seen your support for that. But was there any surprise made for your students, that how your students thought about this integration? Were they surprised? Did they feel comfortable to link these many things? How did they react it? This is the question from India.
사실 이제 선생님께 인도에서 들어온 질문인데요. 사실 이제 선생님께서 하시는 게 이제 여러 가지 과목이나 이제 경계를 굉장히 허물고 이렇게 융합하고 합치는, 그러니까 쉽게 말해서 뭔가를 합치는 류의 그런 이제 수업 내용들이 굉장히 많으십니다. 그런 것에 대해서 혹시 학생들의 이제 어떤 생각 가지고 있는지 혹시 알려주실 수 있으실까요? 예를 들면 이제 뭐 어떤 이런 이제 융합적인 과정을 하면서 뭔가 이렇게 새로운 것을 깨달아서 놀랐다든가, 또는 이제 이게 둘이 합쳐질 수 있구나 하는 새로운 깨달음을 얻었다든가, 혹시 이런 류의 내용이 있다면 학생들의 반응이 되게 궁금한 것 같습니다.
일단 학생들의 반응은 아까도 말씀드렸듯이 시키지도 않았는데 계속해서 저희가 어떤 이런 프로젝트를 열고 학생들을 모집하면 했던 학생들이 또 신청하는 거, 그것만 봐도 이거 자체가 재밌다. 그러니까 이게 뭐 현실적으로 대학 입학과 물론 도움이 될 수도 있겠지만 그냥 이 일 자체가 재밌는 일이다라는 인식이 있는 것 같고요. 제 생각에는. 그리고 두 번째는 수학은 쓸모 있구나. 그걸로 다 설명할 수 있을 것 같은데요. 수학 생각보다 쓸모 있는 과목이네, 라는 생각.
So many students are subscribing and and they are applying to his class even if they were not told to do so. So they do that. They voluntarily join the class even if it's in extra time and even on weekends. So what they find is that, oh, this is fun. This is great. Oh, I love it. On their own, they're thinking like they're on their own, not because they are forced from adults to do so. And so this is everything fun, and this is I think that's the strength of the project-based learning. And the another thing is that all the students are realizing that this, oh, mathematics is fun. I'll do that even if my parents, my teachers don't need to, are not telling me to do so. So that's the point of his project-based learning system.
Thank you a lot. Actually, here we have a lot of teachers with us. That's not only you, Yoon. That's a good news. I think that teachers are interested in each other's practices, and this is also an important way forward, what you are doing, to share your experiences with other teachers. And let's hope that these other teachers get inspired by, and that we can see already from the chat line and from the reactions that they are excited. And I'm sure that your presentation will lead to many local actions here and there, and people got courage from you. And we have also researchers here and also teacher educators here. So I'm sure that many parents are here, and we all are children or been once children. So I think all parties, all actors of the story are really represented today, and that's also important, I think, professional development for teachers. Actually, in Indonesia, there are fantastic programs running by Saumau Institute. Their representatives are also with us today. So also regional cooperation certainly will be possible based on these meetings. And there was one question from a teacher from Italy, who is a very important networker in Italy. She was also connected teachers during the hardest time in Italian pandemic, when this was the first city, Luisa Lenta's city, Codogno, was one of the first which was locked down, and it was in the red zone. And Luisa then switched online and started to support fellow teachers online. And she's with us today as well. Greetings, Luisa. And she just asked me to ask you that what do you think about the reasons for why math is not loved in Korea? What's the Korean students' excuse against math? Because Luisa certainly knows about Italian excuse. I know Hungarian and some Finnish excuse, but what do you heard about Korean excuses against math?
네, 이번 질문은 이탈리아에 있는 루이자 렌타 선생님이 질문해 주셨는데요. 사실 세계 여러 나라에는 이제 학생들이 다 수학을 싫어하는 이유가 있습니다. 뭐 이탈리아 학생들이 수학 싫어하는 이유도 있고, 뭐 헝가리 학생들이 수학을 싫어하는 이유도 있고. 그런데 선생님께서 생각하시기에 한국 학생들이 수학을 싫어하는 이유가 특별히 있다면 그거 혹시 뭐라고 생각하시나요?
이건 제가 확실하게 얘기할 수 있는데, 시험 때문에. 그러니까 시험이라는 것이 지필시험. 대학을 가기 위해 공부해야 하는 수학. 그것이 원래 제가 생각했을 때 원래 인간은 배우는 걸 좋아해요. 뭐든지 새롭게 배우는 걸 좋아해요. 그런데 시험이라는 도구가 이 학생들의 배움을 막는 거예요. 이건 시험에 나오니까 공부하고, 이건 시험에 안 나오니까 공부 안 해. 네, 이러한 인식들이 생기게 되면 이 학생들은 내가 왜 공부하고 공부하지 말아야 되는지가 시험에 나오고 안 나오고에 의해 결정이 되는 거죠. 근데 사실은 인간은 원래 제 딸이나 뭐 누구나 모두나 다 새롭게 배우는 거 좋아하거든요. 그러니까 우리는 그것에 본질적으로 학생들이 그 배움의 즐거움을 느낄 수 있게 만들어주는 게 우리의 역할인 것 같아요. 네, 그러다 보면 자연스럽게 학생들이 다시 수학을 좋아하게 되지 않을까. 네, 근데 그걸 전 충분히 지금까지 경험했거든요. 그렇습니다.
So the main reason is, for surely the main reason is exams. Korean students hate mathematics because of exams, like with those written exams and university entrance exams. All those endless exams make Korean students hate mathematics. Actually, not just mathematics, but everything. Everything is affected by exam. So basically, all human beings like learning new things. So if they love to learn new things, but exams prevent them to do so actually. So when the learning becomes a tool for better getting higher scores in exam, and that make every student focusing just on exams, not focusing on the learning itself. So actually, so that is the something like so this is some like out focusing everyone. So out focusing not learning but the exam itself. So his goal is to let them like learning again, especially in terms of mathematics, like they originally were. So that
Okay.
is his goal.
That sounds clear and a clear message. And I have to say that children around the world are sharing concerns of Korean children about the bad connection between learning and exams. And actually, I also needed to come to Finland to learn a new perspective about exam and examination. I should become an adult and like a researcher of education in Finland to understand in a Finnish language course, which I took, that the function of exam is not to punish the student and not to make a bad day or not to checking carefully what you don't know, but to check that agreement what we made as a teacher and student between us, that how effective we are in fulfilling our agreement about our learning goals, and should we change something together or not. And this was the function of exam in my language course, and it was a revelative moment. But now we are heading towards closing this session. There were some exciting questions also about future technologies, or not future, but today's technologies, like using AI in the classroom. Do you have anything to say just in half minute? What's your position about using, for example, AI in classroom? Half minute for this very challenging question. Okay, yes or no?
AI를 이제 어떻게 적용하는지에 관해 AI를 이제 선생님이 이제 수업에서 어떻게 적용하고 계시는지에 관해서 질문입니다.
네, AI를 그러니까 AI 수업 중에 지금 질문 끝인가요?
네네, AI를 이제 어떻게 적용을 하고 계시는지요?
사실은 AI를 수업 중에 이렇게 활용하고 있는 그런 상황은 현재는 아니에요. 왜냐면 우리나라 교육과정 자체가 근데 그거를 이렇게 AI와 관련돼서 할 수 있는 건 아직까지는 없는데 그래도 우리나라의 일부에서는 코딩 수업을 굉장히 많이 하고 있어요. 그래서 사실 알고리즘도 굉장히 수학적인 내용이기 때문에 관심은 있지만 아직 해보진 못했습니다. 네.
Actually, not really, because in Korean regular education curriculum, AI is not generally included in those timeline. So mainly, nothing. Actually, we don't have many things to do with AI. But some teachers are applying, like they can teach coding and some even algorithm, which is closely related to mathematics, but not for now, actually.
Thank you very much. So we are reaching to conclude this event. You can also recognize that as an award winner teacher, you will be asked also to form opinion about many things, probably about everything: eating, fashion, and so on. But you must be careful to answer these questions in the future, and we will be very happy to learn you more. So I really hope that we will have the opportunity to meet you in many upcoming events, and let's keep in touch and let's keep sharing these wonderful results and motivate each other in the field. And to close this meeting, I should announce that, okay, I wanted to show some pictures which I cannot for some reason, but the next event will take place on the 29th of December, and you can follow in the chat line. I put a link for the International Society for the Advancement of STEAM, where you will get the exact information how and where you can register to this event. And in the next event, Philip Longchamps from Sweden and Canada, but mainly from Sweden. Actually, he's the Teacher of the Year in Sweden, and Charlotte Graham was also with us today. So they are wonderful pioneers of STEAM learning in the Nordic countries. So Philip will share his experiences with us together with Rocky Byun, who is from Korea, and actually an internationally acknowledged, known person who knows a lot about how to balance different things. So he's a natural born physicist, if I may say so. All his productions are very attractive and can make you a lot of questions also about STEAM learning, and also philosophy, if you want to how to put things balance also in your life more generally. So I'm really looking forward this session about the innovative learning, and also gaining attention towards science, also through TV shows and those venues where Rocky Byun made Korea really famous and represented all over the world. So welcome back on the 29th of December. I really enjoyed to meet with you today. Thank you for the lot of questions and the conversation. And once again, congratulations for this award. We need more recognition to these fantastic projects all over the world. So we hope that we can do our job in this regard. So please check out the chat line. You will find the link there, and I wish you a wonderful night, day, morning, whatever you have at the moment around the globe. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
감사합니다, 선생님.
네,
감사합니다.
김준 선생님 고생 많이 하셨습니다.
네,
수고하셨습니다.
네.
29일 날 뵙겠습니다. 29일 날.
네, 네.
네, 멋져요, 주경쌤.
감사합니다.
너무 멋진다.
네.
크리스토프 화이팅.
Thank you, Crystal, for today's
Thank you.
session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
선생님,
이거 유튜브 올라간다니 유튜브 올릴 거라.
감사드립니다. There will be a YouTube live streaming on the 29th of December for this event as well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.
2 weeks later.
Bye.
Bye.